So season 5 of Breaking Bad, episode 13, titled Something I Cannot Pronounce for the Life of Me, has aired, and I have no idea what to say. This is one of the best episodes of Breaking Bad ever, because the way this episode starts, you have all the stuff that was set up last week, and each scene in this episode just got progressively better and better as it went on, because you have that beginning scene, and you could see that Todd just is not as good as cooking as Walt was, so there's a problem there, and Lydia doesn't really want to do business with him because it's not blue and it's not as pure and things like that. So that thing in my mind, it obviously set up, okay, if Walt's gonna come to him, he's gonna want them to cook again. One of my favorite scenes in this episode is when Hank and Gomez were out talking to Huell. That was just so brilliant, the way they used the brains, because at first when you saw the brains, you're like, oh, what are they doing with that? And then the way they used it, it was so smart. They finally outwitted Walt. It was great to watch. And Walt tried to use Jesse's old girlfriend on him. That just flat out didn't work. I loved how they're not fazed by anything Walt tries to do anymore. And the fact that how pissed Walt got in the car when, I'm just skipping ahead here because this is like the bulk of the episode, Jesse manipulating Walt. Tables are finally turned on him, and I've been waiting for that for so long because Walt just keeps manipulating people and using them to his advantage and no one else's, and finally they got him. Oh yeah, you want to make plans to kill Jesse? Well, that's not gonna work. It actually might work out based on what we saw, but they get him out into the desert and he realizes it. He realizes, and Bryan Cranston did a great job of this when it dawned on him that they're not there and he was set up, and he finally admitted to all that stuff on tape. And once they finally arrest Walt, the gratification on Hank's face was just amazing, and all the acting in the scene was just, it was top notch. Dean Norris did a great job at portraying how Hank was feeling, and Aaron Paul did an amazing job doing Jesse and how he was so happy that Walt was finally getting caught. And Bryan Cranston, as always, did a great job at doing what Walt was feeling, and just, he was finally caught and he has no way out of this situation. And after the final commercial break, that last chunk of this episode is one of the most intense scenes I've ever seen in a TV show ever. Because Walt called those guys and said, yeah, here's where I am, and then he said, no, it's off. So I was just sitting there the whole time. They were taking it so slowly, it's like, oh my god, they're gonna show up, what's gonna happen? And, oh man, just anticipating it, and then they finally start rolling up, you're like, oh no, what's gonna happen? I don't want Hank or Jesse or Gomez, fine, but I don't want those two to die. And what pissed me off to no fucking end at the end of this episode was what they've been doing. They cut it out mid-scene again. Stop doing that. Obviously, they're not going to stop doing it now. There is no need to do that. Finish your scene. If you're going to kill someone, kill them off at the end of the episode. That's what will stick in our minds till next week. Don't do it if they're going to do it at the beginning of the next episode. Even though that last little thing pissed me off, I still love this episode of Breaking Bad. It's one of the best ones of all time, really. So what'd you guys think of this episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Who do you think's gonna die next week, if you think someone's gonna die? Write your beautiful comments down there and tell me what you think. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button down there, because if you don't, I'll start cooking meth and I'll have maybe 1% purity. Yeah.